Good morning. Unusual to be making that greeting in a video. I'm making this video at a time when I should be getting on with work, but this this purchase, this I was looking for this word in the last video, acquire, whatever, the thing I got is sitting on my desk from yesterday, and as part of tidying it and therefore doing something useful, I'm going to process it in video form. So, I was reaching kind of retail and money spending fatigue by the end of last week. I'm not quite sure how I've ended up in that situation of spending money what feels like too much. But when a friend of mine sent me a picture, my favourite kind of picture, which was of an array of kind of unsorted Game Boy games and his old Game Boy, saying, "What do you think I could get for this?" And I said, well, I'll buy it, basically. So no wonder why I end up just spending money on things unnecessarily, perhaps, with that kind of hair trigger response. So it suited him, and it certainly suited me to sort of take them off his hands, as it were, in a job lot. So as I said to him, I wouldn't take the mick, but I got a good deal on stuff, and he got rid of some shite he didn't want in the first place anyway. So, this bag, which possibly is leather, which is not very nice, but that's fine. The bag is neither here nor there. Some fun old stickers on it. I quite like those sorts of details. I don't like the stickers themselves. Get through the kind of the not so interesting parts. Light magic, magnifying lens type thing. He did send me a video of this working, so I do know it work. I know it does work. I might have to look this up because I don't know if light magic is a. Well, that's quite good. Fuck's sake. I don't know if light magic is, one of the original ones of these. It doesn't say Nintendo on it anywhere, so without knowing anything else about it, I don't look at this and think it's official. It's like the interesting one of these to have, because there were so many of these things designed and made. It's funny though that this side is brown and this side is white, which maybe suggests that when he was playing his Game Boy, he was always had the sun to one side of him. I don't know if that quite makes sense, but interesting. The other thing, he told me this doesn't work. It's so small, look. In the first photograph I thought, is this an official Nintendo Game Boy power supply? I don't know if those exist. I assume they do, because it does have an external power input. I suppose it would be, not an output, but it isn't, and apparently it doesn't work anyway. So now to the interesting stroke actually functioning things. So the Game Boy itself is in pretty good condition for the most part. It's like nice and white. The buttons feel good. These select and start buttons are not totally worn down, which a couple of mine are a bit. The screen is nice and clean and is attached. However, and you'll just have to take my word for this because I don't have batteries and I can't bother putting them in. It has a few white lines on its left side, white vertical lines where the image doesn't show, and a few black lines on the right hand side, and I think maybe along the bottom where the image is obstructed. So that's a shame. So this, I don't really know. I did look on eBay and I did see people selling Game Boys in this condition for a little more than I would expect, to be perfectly honest. But I think what I would rather do is use this as an excuse to maybe replace the screen in it, and put in one of those nice backlit screens, because not having an appropriate lamp in the part of my flat where I play games, and not having one of these modded Game Boys has really led to me not playing Game Boy games for months, because I just it's not that convenient, and it's a shame because there's lots of stuff I would enjoy playing at the moment, and because of my unhelpful trips to IKEA where I didn't get the lamps that might have solved part of this problem. I could do with. I like the original kit, but on something like this that is not properly functioning, I will happily mod this or get it modded with a new screen. So it really doesn't suit me to learn to do something technical and do it. I'm not a DIY guy, but yeah, so it didn't make sense to buy this to sell on. So that took the price down a wee bit. One thing I really do like about this, this sticker, I always like seeing things with stickers that people have put on them from their childhoods. My original Mega Drive, which was actually my cousin's originally on my dad's side in Ireland, County Cork. So it was a hand-me-down machine. My first games console is covered with stickers from this PlayStation magazine from ages ago. Some of them Croc 2 stickers, and some of them like something more generic. I think from some I just remembered about this. It was called FBX, a comic magazine called For Boys exclusively. I'd forgotten about that. The Croc ones were from a PlayStation magazine, and there was other things that were like stickers that said "so cool" or that kind of thing. Very silly little chauvinistic boys magazine. Anyway, so and I have a big soft spot for Digimon, so that's fun. I'm gonna keep that on there for now. Anyway, so stuff that is neither needing replaced, repaired, or any of the rest of it. Game Boy games all in little cases for the most part, which is nice, and all looking to be in pretty good condition. Donkey Kong Land, which I already have, so I'll compare conditions and pass one of them on. This feels very heavy, I just noticed. Maybe to do with the Super Game Boy compatibility. Lovely yellow cartridge, I really like about this. Tetris in the Game Boy, of course. And I have, I think, 4 copies of Tetris. So, to quote Pat the NES punk from the AVGN video, I'm making a coffee table out of them. Ha 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 ha. The Empire Strikes Back. Really nice looking condition. Perfect label. I don't know how many of the kind of straightforward counterfeit games you would have gotten back then, but it does no harm to check, and these so far look all good. Not a big Star Wars guy personally, but it's interesting that actually this is an exception. I was going to say there's so many Star Wars games from its entire history that are not movie tie-ins exclusively. You know, it's maybe less common these days. You know, a movie franchise tied game is usually tied to a specific movie, but I think Star Wars is one of the exceptions to that, and continues to be an exception to that. You know, when you have like, was it The Force Awakens from a few years ago, or is that the name of the new film? Fuck, I think it was. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't even know that much about it. Moving on. Jurassic Park. Don't think I know anything about this game, but yeah, nice condition again. I mean, I like anything on Game Boy, and that's why I need a lit screen to play some of these games, because most of them I just put away in a drawer and never touch again, which is a bit sad, and I think that's the reason that my friend was happy to get rid of these, because he sees what people like I do. He sees what people like me do as being the sad thing it actually is. And he didn't want to just hold on to the stuff that he wasn't using. So now I'm holding on to it and not using it. Another Star Wars game, just Star Wars. I looked this up online and I couldn't actually. I didn't look very hard. I was just getting a gestural value off CDX. I couldn't, but I didn't immediately find one with this label art. It was a slightly different cover, so not sure if that's a regional thing. Thing is, games like this Jurassic Park, Star Wars, I'm imagining them to be sort of platformer shooter things, and very simple games like that are not intrinsically, that are not themselves super exciting. On the Game Boy, they're simple enough that they're usually fun enough. You know, very simple, pretty average, very forgettable games are nonetheless, I think, on the Game Boy especially, simple and straightforward enough and stable usually enough in their design that they're all fun to pick up for a short while. So that's one of the reasons as well why buying relative junk on Game Boy is more appealing to me than on other consoles, apart from the fact that it's also comparatively inexpensive. Donkey Kong. I assume this is just a version of. I see a Donkey Kong Jr. on there. Maybe it's not quite a version of the original, but it'll be arcadey. Now, I'm not a big arcade type games guy, but oh well. This is either just a very dirty, very old, or yeah, no, it's an unofficial one. It's not dirty, it's just made of a different material. And I don't know if you can see here. Yeah, you see Nintendo. No Nintendo. So, but it still looks after the game, so that's fine. The labels on these are really in very nice condition, really shiny, clear, smooth. So Speedy Gonzales. What was I saying about buying any old junk on the Game Boy? Yeah, nice and colourful, that Looney Tunes logo. I really would like to work out the focus things on this camera, because I'd really like to be getting up close to things without it blurring completely. I say this camera, I'm using my phone. Nice. I don't know the first thing about that game at all. Kind of an eclectic collection that he had. And now, I think the last two games are slightly more standard. This is probably a better condition, Super Mario Land, than the one I have. Very nice. It's something almost a bit funny about its label. Some of the black is a bit too black looking almost. Like slightly too thick. There's something slightly too bold about bits of it. You can't see it on the camera, unfortunately. But I'm probably just being paranoid. I'm not even being paranoid, I'm just being scrutinizing. I don't think it's a fake, it's got the imprint. Why would you make a fake of... Well, no, I mean, it wasn't always worth £2, but... Scrutinizing only, and I'm like, oh, this label looks slightly different. Not in a suspicious way, but just in a curious way. So, and lastly, I haven't actually looked at this yet. A very, very, very nice condition. Yeah, this is good. Very nice condition Pokemon Red. It's like immaculate. And my one is quite worn, so I'm quite pleased with this actually. There's something about the... It is quite a unique art style for video games of the time. I mean, I know it's an anime style ostensibly, but with this kind of watercolor thing, which I suppose is like quite typical. I say anime, I suppose like manga, perhaps more specifically, because you would see this sort of art in comics, or at least on like comic covers, because I know internally they were mostly black and white, kind of traditional manga stuff. But I feel like you wouldn't. It seems very much of its time, and not much before or since that you would get this look on cartridges and game covers and game artwork. It is a wee bit like sort of the early Zelda artwork, I suppose. Very nice. I've talked before about particularly Pokemon Blue on the cartridge, and particularly on the box, which has recently become bloody expensive. The colour is so unique and evocative. It's like one of these lost colours, these lost pigments to me. But anyway, that's nice. I'm really pleased with that actually. Lastly, now I thought I might have stretching. I might have talked about this, or I might have intended to talk about this in the Manchester video. The last one where I was talking about Small Soldiers, Monster Hunter, and Pokemon Trading Card Game. But my friend and I, who met up in Manchester, thought about doing a kind of Pokemon trading thing there. I won't go on about it just now. And I thought, oh, I don't have any link cables. And as it turned out, I had 2 link cables. One obtained along with my grandpa's old Game Boys, and one I think gotten with the Game Boy printer. I don't think I fully realised at the time that the thing that links the Game Boy printer to the Game Boy is a link cable, which is quite funny. So thinking I had no link cables, turned out I had 2, and now I have even more. And this is a kind I've never seen before. It is basically a colour to colour official link cable, I think, it says Nintendo on it, with somewhat firmly attached. This would come off without too much difficulty. Yeah, sort of twist off and twist back on again, and I'll just leave it there for now, from now on. An adapter, which is also official. You'll take my word for it. It says Game Boy on that side, and on the other side, Nintendo DMG made in China. It's an adapter for a color to it's a color to DMG adapter, so it fits into the original Game Boy link cable. Very cool. I have never seen one of these in all of my life. Um, yeah, nice. The other like cables I have, I think one is just DMG to DMG, I think, and the other one is color to color and DMG. It has a split end at the other. I suppose a bit like that in principle, but different. And some manuals, which not really sure what use these are or value they are on their own without boxes, but if I ever get into the old boxed collecting thing, then I suppose it's worth holding on to because you can get boxes minus manuals, and now I've got the anyway. So Donkey Kong. Most of the games that are here, I think, have these. Donkey Kong Land. Speedy Gonzales. Jurassic Park. Tetris. I think I might have one of them already. The Game Boy. I feel like one of these maybe came with most Game Boy games. Might be wrong with that. And surprisingly generic, Super Mario Land. No artwork on the front of that. So that's that. I wonder what Speedy Gonzales looks like, whether it has any gameplay images on the inside. No, fairly bare, these things. Oh, there we go. Gameplay image. After all, boss levels. It looks really basic. It almost looks like a Tiger game or Game & Watch or something. Cool, so that'll do for now. So yeah, I was pleased with that. I mean, I love a job lot. Obviously, you can get a good deal that way, but there's a sense of mystery. You know, I did know what I was getting, but yeah. So that should really tide me over. I think. I mean, I'll pass on a couple of these, or maybe actually I'll replace them in my collection and pass on the copies they're replacing. I'm thinking Donkey Kong Land in particular. I don't Super Mario Land. There's no point in trading that in. Pokemon Red. I feel like I'll keep this nice shiny one, and I'll possibly keep my crap condition one as well, just because it's like Pokemon's like the gold standard. It's like, why get rid of them? Hold on to them. They'll never grow much in value, but they're never going to go down is the thing. But I don't know, like holding on to a shabby Pokemon Red in a kind of value retaining way, it seems a bit ridiculous. Might trade in my old Pokemon Red, but probably not straight away. Anyway, should hopefully tide me over. I think I'm going to actually clear a little bit of my collection, possibly today. Just trim things down, things I don't want or need, but not Game Boy stuff. Cheers.